Hi, this is Senapatiratne from Christ Connection, and yesterday I finished listening to the book The Positive Dog by Jon Gordon. I want to give you some thoughts on it, hang through the overview, and then I'll give you rankings in various areas that I hope will help you.
You a positive dog? You a positive dog, buddy?
The Positive Dog is, as the title intends to give you the idea, is about a positive dog and a negative dog. And the idea is pretty simple. We've probably heard it before. I've been thinking about these things for, since my teenage years. You have two dogs in your life. One's a positive dog and one's a negative dog, and which one are you going to feed? There's different analogies for that. You got two buckets in your life, two tellers that you have. Here's looking at you, Lene. But all these, which one are you going to feed? So the idea is pretty basic, but it goes with the fable of talking dogs at a pound and how they learn about positivity. It's not a long read. Actually, this review may be longer. No, just kidding. I listened to it, and so it was about an hour and a half, and I listened at double time, so that's about 45 minutes. So very quick listen. But I love those kind of books that just kind of have an important message, really short, get to the point, and give it to you. So I really love that about the book. Now, the first category I'd like to give a ranking on is memorable, and that's where the book kind of has a little challenge. I just listened to the book yesterday, and some of it's getting a little muddy in my head already. And part of the reason for that is not because it doesn't have good content, because a lot of it you've heard before, and so it can easily kind of go in one ear and out the other. This book has very important stuff about being positive in there and its effect on your life and things like that. But the problem would be remembering it. So, if you saw the book cover, you're probably going to remember, the basic story that they share and the idea of the two dogs and which you're going to feed. But beyond that, as far as remembering over a long time, it almost would have to be a shelvable book, which way, what I mean by that is I have a small section on my bookshelf are books that I want to remember, and so that I see them, and when I see them, I remember the concept of the book, and it helps me to apply it to my life. So, but that's a very select group for me. So I'm going to think about whether this book would apply that. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10 on the memorable, but it's a sliding scale. So depending on how you do this, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The next category that I'm going to rank on this book is the preachableness of the book. Now, the reason I need a better term for that, but when I am listening to a book, I'm thinking about, is this orthodox? Is this agree with Scripture? Where does that rank on things? Will I be able to preach from it? Will I be able to recommend it from the pulpit? And nothing went off on the bells on my spirit and my mind as I was listening to the book. You may have find something if you dig deep enough, but I would give it a 10 out of 10 there. As a matter of fact, I would think it's in a lot of ways, it's an unpacking of Paul's ideas in Philippians 4:8 about thinking on these things. What are you going to think about in your life? So again, a 10 out of 10 for the orthodox score. The next category I'm going to call, and again, you can give me some comments below for better titles for these things, but practical life change type category. And the book contained a lot of those things. Again, you probably heard a lot of them, so you might miss them as you're going through, but there was a lot of practical application. One of my favorites was what he called the thankful walk, taking one time a day to just go for a walk and be thankful while you're on that walk. And I'm going to make some variation. Maybe my first 5 minutes of my walk that I take, I'll use that to be thankful. So a practical scale, I'd give it probably an 8 or 9 in that category. The practical application, life change possibility. Again, I'm going to give some notes in the next about how to make this life changing, but it has a potential to be a life changing book for the right person in the right situation. So 8 or 9 on that one. drum roll please for the final part here of this review. Combined my overview of what my score would be. Again, the challenge of this book was the memorability of it, and I like short books that kind of have that powerful impact, as I've mentioned. But this would probably need to be one of those books that you revisit on a regular basis, and that's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, there are certain books that I reread, and it's just part of building them into my life, and this might fall in that category. If you have you struggle with being positive, this would be one that you could probably read every week for a month, 2 months, and it could literally change your life because the message is very powerful. I would, again, going back to the shelving, for me, that would probably be where I would need to do if I was going to make this a life application type book. So what I'm going to give it is a 7 out of 10. That's a good number there, with the caveat that if you were to make this a regular part of your reading schedule, you could make this a 10 out of 10. So the ball's in your court, whatever you'd like to do with that. I hope this helped you in some way. Go feed the right dog. Feed the right dog. And have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe.